Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? So today we're going to be doing third lord in the fourth house. And what happens when your third lord is in the fourth house? And by the way, if you missed my video, check out my new show that I've announced here in this video. And then maybe you might want to come back to this video. Okay? So, third lord in the fourth house. What is the third house? Third house represents your communication and your intellect. You know, when you use something to do something. That's what it represents, because third house represents your skills and hobbies. Now, in order to, develop your skills and hobbies, you got to have intellect. So third house represents that. Third house represents communication, because it represents siblings. And your very close communication in the family really happens with the siblings. You're not going to talk to your dad or mom about that hot looking girl on the other side of the building. You're going to tell your brother. You're not going to talk about that little hot young boy with a nice ass, who's right on the third floor. You're not going to talk to your mom about that. You're going to talk to your sister about that. So your communication skills really develop through your siblings. So so third house represents siblings. It represents dramatic arts and creativity, because it represents working with hands. Hands is about drawing something. It's about sewing. It's about designing. It's about creating something. Maybe somebody likes to creatively work on cars and make a little dumb looking car look like a nice little piece of hot rod or something. So artistic skills, dramatic arts, journalism, communication is seen from that. And so what happens when planet that controls that third house sits in your fourth house? Well, fourth house is about your private life. It's about people of your homeland. Wherever you were born, that country is your fourth house. It represents your childhood and people you interacted with your childhood, especially who? Mother, because mother is your very first point of contact. Your emotions, your stability of the mind is developed in the fourth house. Fourth house also represents, your physical home, not only your people of homeland or mother, but your physical home. It represents land, and it kind of represents politics as well, because who really becomes a politician and where and why? People become politicians who want to communicate and serve the people of their homeland, because of the fact it's a great way to make money under the table. Well, that's what politics is, okay? But, you want to serve your people right. Okay. We'll talk about that, Sonny. So, when third lord comes into the fourth house, shows that your communication skills were really developed in the privacy of your home, especially with the mother. Mother and people of your homeland were the one who really developed your skill. So it doesn't matter, even if you went to a foreign land, you still somehow developed your skills of communication through the people of the homeland. Your communication is very private. Now, as much as I said it's about politics, but your communication can be very private. You can be a very quiet person. That all will depend on a planet that controls your third house and sits in the fourth house. But it also represents you communicate about things related to politics, things related to the betterment of your home, betterment of your mother, emotions of people of the homeland. You can write books about your country. You can write books about emotions and privacy. So all of those things can happen with fourth house. You can also communicate regarding, what's happening psychologically in the person's mind. Like somebody who can write about psychiatry and psychology of a person could have this, because psychology really is understood in the privacy of a office or privacy of a hospital. So you can also say a psychological communication happens in the fourth house. But depending upon the planet that is sitting from the third house to fourth house will really show you what happens. Your skills, your hobbies, and because third house represents your hobby and skills, it can go into building a home, meaning that you can be a real estate developer, you can be a land developer, and that becomes your hobby and skill. Your hobby and skill can also be artistic, because fourth house also is a development of your artistic skills from the young age. So from young age, you develop your artistic skills. That's what it really shows. But let's go to the planets that may come from the third house into the 4th house. So let's say Sun controls your 3rd house and comes into the 4th house. This is actually a very strong indication of somebody becoming a politician and somebody having a great communicative skills to communicate with their people of homeland. Why? Because Sun is original significator of government. Politics is a job of government. And Sun represents being dynamic. Sun represents being creative, being confident. So when Sun comes here, it shows that when you communicate with the people of your homeland, you really know how to say things and what to say and when to say things, So like, let's say I'm in front of the camera and you might be in India watching this. I was born in India. I'm communicating with you. Of course, this is not a political, communication, but I'm communicating with the people of my homeland. Obviously, it has nothing to do with the Sun, but it's the same dynamic. It's the same scenario that happens, So this is why politics become a very strong indication. And it shows that your mother really took over the job of the father and really enhanced your confidence and your communication skills in your life. Meaning that your mother showed you how to be a man. Your mother also showed you how to have emotions. Because of the fact father is in the house of mother. And the thing is, the communication with the father may be dulled down because Sun in the 4th house is directionless. Meaning that your confidence, whatever Sun represents your father, your confidence, your self-esteem, your personality, even your career. And it shows that Sun, your Sun, whatever Sun's representing in your life, is kind of directionless. So what happens is then the advantage that you can do, or a trick that you can use, is that use your mother as a guidance, source of guidance. Because mother is now having the say on your father. So your mother will be the one giving you direction. Your mother will be the one giving you self-confidence. Your mother will be the one giving you self-esteem in your life. And what it shows is that your personality with words becomes very calculative. And you may be very critical of the people of your homeland. You may actually criticize them instead of even praising them. But through that criticism, you can win praises, because sometimes when you show people their flaws, they really get it. Oh my God, that's right. This politician is right. That we have such a messed up thing and we are all, living in this dark ages. We need to come out, man. Let's vote for this guy. He's really enlightening us. So although it's critical, you're enlightening those people. Let's say Moon controls your 3rd house, comes into the 4th house. That really shows that your mother was a very dynamic person, because Moon represents the mother. Your mother really instilled the communication skills in you, and especially artistic and dynamic skills, meaning that you are really all about, performing. You performed in the home and privacy of your home, and somehow that led to your career. Because why? Because from 4th house, all planets aspect the 10th house of career. So 10th house of career is being influenced. Just like Sun is influencing your political agenda, maybe even your artistic agenda, but same thing with Moon. Moon is now influencing your career agenda. Moon is really, your emotional stability was really developed by mother. You're very artistic, okay, and you're very dynamic, and you're able to somehow persuade people what to do, especially people of your own homeland. And also one thing you need to remember is that when 3rd Lord comes into the 4th house, it shows gain of the 3rd house, because it's second from the 3rd house. Sure, communication skills really do develop and they help you gain through that. That means for a career, you can become a public speaker, because again, the Lord of the speech is in the 4th house looking at the 10th house. So start looking at things this way and you'll start to see what the 3rd house is doing. Let's say Mercury rules your 3rd house and is in the 4th house. What it shows, your mother was very communicative. Your mother could have been a business person or a teacher, and she really showed you how to communicate properly with people. Your emotions are they may be calculative, but your emotions come out through your communication. When you communicate, people can see Oh man, he's feeling sad today. Oh man, he's feeling angry today. Oh, he's really happy today. You know, some people, you can feel their emotions through their communication, because Mercury is the significator of communication and speech, and is sitting in the fourth house of emotions and mother. So this is why your speech will show you your emotions, because sometimes a person can really be happy, but inside they're thinking, oh my God, I need to commit suicide. And suddenly you hear in the news and you're like, oh my God, how can this person commit suicide? I never thought of it. But with these people, you can really see, oh yeah, this guy's suicidal, man. This guy, you can really see it in his voice. So Mercury brings that. Mercury can actually make you a great astrologer, great psychologist, and a teacher. You're a very good communicative teacher, because fourth house represents your childhood education. Mercury's education and teaching. So you can be a really good educator, especially of like high school or middle school. Let's say Venus controls your third house, and Venus comes into the fourth house. My little dog is scratching right now, and I'm sure you can hear it. Mamalu! Let me film. So, Venus controls your third house. Venus comes into the fourth house, can really show that your artistic skills and your ability to form relationships was really influenced by the mother, and your communication really is about romance and artistic things. When you communicate, whether it's through writing, whether it's through talking, it could be about romantic, sensual beauties. It could be about sensual pleasures. It's about, you can be talking and communicating to the world about the pleasure of your country and the pleasure that you get from your country. Venus here can show somebody who wants to attain a big home and a beautiful home. And they usually get it, because third lord is getting the gains now. It's coming second from itself. So it's now providing you home through communication, through artistic skills, through your hobbies. So whatever your hobbies and skills are, now turning into a money-making thing. That means home decoration, architect, even real estate agent can be seen from this Venus position. And your mother really showed you how to form relationship with people, how to communicate with people when you're forming a relationship. Because if you go back in your chart and if you have this, go back in time, that when I interact with the opposite sex or same sex nowadays, that really did came through because of the fact I was influenced by my mother a lot. But if Mars controls your third house and is in the fourth house, this is a strong indication of somebody who's a builder and somebody who is in a real estate development field, because Mars represents real estate and land, and Mars controls the third house of courage, and Mars is a significator. Not only it's ruling if it's ruling your third house, it's not only the ruler, but it also the significator for everybody for the third house. Mars shows your willpower, your efforts. You know, it shows your bravery, because that's what third house is about. And all of that is now being put into the fourth house, meaning that you can not only be a real estate agent, not only can you be a real estate developer, but you can be a soldier and a policeman helping guard people of your homeland. Especially military can be seen with this. Mars here brings tremendous energy and tremendous fighting ability to defend the people of your home. When you speak, if you're a politician, or when you speak, your speech is very direct, very forceful, and this is exactly what your mother taught you. To be direct, to be forceful, and to get straight to the point, whether you're talking to the people of your homeland or whether you're communicating anybody regarding in your career field, whether it's real estate, engineering, or weapon development, or military, or whatever. Maybe you're a sports person, and when you communicate with people, it really is, out there to get you. And what it really shows, sometimes it can show that your mother was this general type person. She was very direct with you. She kept you involved in activities in your home. And when she communicated with you, it was like a harsh communication, meaning that she may have cursed at you. She may be very, vocal with you. She never really let you communicate properly. But depending upon, what aspect Mars is receiving or what house Mars controls, That's how you will learn these things. But obviously, I'm going to go through each planet, through each ascendant next year, so you will know all that in detail. Let's say Saturn controls your third house and comes into the fourth house. Saturn is a very slow-moving planet. Saturn is a very dreadful planet because it slows things. It shows you reality. It makes you disciplined. It makes you want to be disciplined, organized, and structured. If you're not, Saturn's going to frustrate you. So what this shows, first of all, Saturn being the lord of the third house, is that your communication skills were developed in time, slowly and surely. Unless Mercury was sitting in the third house, it developed quickly. But if there's no planet in the third house and Saturn sits in the fourth house, shows that you kind of maybe started speaking slowly in your life. Your mother was very disciplined and organized in your life. And your mother, it may not be such a bad relationship, but it was really like a boss and employee relationship, general and a soldier relationship, like Mars. Like your mother said, do this or I'm going to punish you. And that communication you took to yourself and brought it to your career and your entire life. Meaning that you expect other people to be disciplined, organized, and structured. And you're really not a talker. You're very quiet. And when you communicate with people, you take them into private side of things and then you talk to them. Meaning that you will not blab out at somebody. You may actually take them into a room and talk to them, but you will be really firm and strict, to the point. And you will be like, this dark figure talking to them. Because Saturn doesn't really like to be communicative. Although Saturn controls the masses, it shows that somebody can be a very good politician, a very dynamic politician. You will go straight to the point, you'll keep your speech short, and you will speak the truth. So it's really good for politics, but when it comes to communication in home, in your own private home, that's where it can be a really distant, rough, cold environment. Like in your home, there wasn't really too much communication in the home. But somehow your skills were developed because of the other planetary influence or just through what you observed through your mother. Jupiter, which I should have done before Saturn, if Jupiter controls your third house, sits in the fourth house, it can really show that your communication skills and your skill level were really developed through your mother, who was perhaps this divine figure in your life. And what it can also show that not too many people will tell you is that your mother may not have, in certain situations with Jupiter, your mother may not have had a lot of money. You may not have a lot of money in your home, but your mother provided you with the best philosophical guidance. And your mother was this teacher to you. And when you speak, you have this ability to teach. Whenever you speak to teach. And you have this philosophical way of teaching. And what this can show is that somebody can really be either a very strict teacher, disciplined teacher, or you may love to teach about law. You may love to teach about engineering. And Jupiter signifies teachers and philosophy and spirituality. But the thing is, in certain situations, Jupiter might be debilitated in the fourth house. So what it shows is that your ability to grasp the spiritual knowledge may have been very much to the point, very forced on you, and you may not have enjoyed it in the home as much. But you will realize it later on in your life that, maybe this did help me. But if there's more negative influence on Jupiter while Jupiter's, let's say, is debilitated in the fourth house, what it can show is that your mother might have taught your people in the home, might have taught you wrong things in life. How to maybe scam people, how to become a scammer through religious activities, how to, swindle people through your wrong philosophy. All of these things can be seen, but Jupiter is a natural benefic. So Jupiter will always try to teach you all the good things, even if it's in the wrong sign. So a lot of people, most of the time, your Jupiter may not be debilitated. See, Jupiter is really debilitated at around certain degrees. So if Jupiter is not debilitated, if it's at other degrees in the sign of Capricorn, what it can show is that there was really a lack of money in home growing up. However, there was a lot of knowledge, a lot of discipline, and a lot of structure that really helped you become maybe a lawyer or a professor in school because of the fact of your humble beginnings. So this is how you look at how the communication developed through the fourth house. All right. So guys, this was my analysis of third lord in the fourth house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to get your full astrological report along with all the lessons in astrology, check out the links below and check out my books there, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light, and my full 82-page astrology report below. Otherwise, see you later. Bye-bye.